Hello, everybody. Bethany, I've got a question for you. Do you think consciousness changes our reality?
Well, Sharon, based on the guests that we've had so far, I'm starting to think consciousness might not have got the memo.
Well, and I agree. And I think today's conversation is going to challenge a lot of assumptions.
Yes, girl, because we're talking about hypnosis, regression, therapy, past life, consciousness, and whether the stories we tell ourselves are even where the story begins. Who knows?
And you know what, Bethany? That isn't small talk.
This is where the questions get bigger, girl. Welcome to the
Yeah,
Holy
they
Shift
do.
Ball Podcast. I'm Bethany, your energetic bestie, alongside my fabulous soul sister, Sharon. Hey, girl.
Hey, and we're here to help you turn your shit into a shift.
Yes, girl. Today we're joined by someone who has spent years helping people explore the subconscious mind, heal old patterns, and access deeper levels of awareness.
Absolutely. Susan Lyons is a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a board certified regression therapist, and a Reiki Master Teacher. She has spent years helping people discover the power of the subconscious mind.
Yes, girl, she has dedicated her life in helping people uncover the root causes of emotional, mental, and spiritual challenges through hypnosis, regression therapy, and girl, my favorite, energy work.
You know it. You know it. That's what we're all about, energy, frequency, and
Yes,
vibration,
girl,
right?
right up my alley, right up my
Woo! And her grandfather, Kenneth Marcus Lyons, was a hypnotherapist specializing in past life regression. So this work is part of a family legacy of Susan's that spans generations, which is just beautiful.
That is. So today she helps people explore the subconscious mind, remove the limiting patterns, and discover perspectives that often change how they see themselves and their lives, girl.
Exactly. So without any further ado, let's welcome Susan to the Holy Shitballs podcast. Hey, Susan.
Hi there. Morning, ladies.
How
Yes,
are you?
Good. How are you?
Really good.
Happy to
girl,
be
if
here.
I was any better, I'd be a twin. Lord help me if that was to ever happen. So, Susan, we're going to start off with the big question. Can consciousness actually change reality, or does it simply change how we experience reality?
I think it kind of goes both ways, but here's how I see it. I think our consciousness is being projected into the material that we see around us, right? So our consciousness is being projected here, and based on how we receive that information, um, we are also creating our reality. So, based on how our perception and our reaction to the situation, then we create the reality around us. So, if we change our perception, we can change the reality. So, we're
Oh,
co-creating.
100%. Susan, when did you first realize that consciousness shapes your reality?
I definitely when I started studying hypnotherapy,
Okay.
because I started realizing that consciousness is not contained in the body. It's everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. And so if it's not being contained in this physical body, the mind is, but the consciousness is not. And so working with clients and their reactions and perceptions and the information they're getting when they're putting that left thinking brain aside is so much more expansive than so we can get out of our own way when we're in those altered states. And I think it's just what comes out of people's mouth is so expansive and so simple and so detailed. I think when we're in our regular state of mind, we're actually limiting our experience,
Oh,
limited in our experience.
absolutely. Yeah.
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 Yes. Yeah.
We're completely locked down and restricted. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Susan, for our viewers that might be new to all of this, what is hypnotherapy? What does that actually what define that for us so we, someone that might be new to this, they can kind of get a little bit of an awareness of what it is we're speaking about.
Yeah. And some people that know about hypnotherapy are they probably know it through these stage hypnotists. So that's not what a certified clinical hypnotherapists do. We're not, it's
What?
not an act, right?
Well,
We're
you
not,
don't make people cluck like chickens.
yes, no, we're not doing that at all. Basically, what we're doing is we're relaxing the mind and we're relaxing the body, and we're getting out of the egoic left brain thinking mind, and we're stepping into the more creative mind and the more heart-centered experience, which is really, we're only using 5 to 10% of our mind. And most of that is the left brain thinking mind. So you think about how expansive the other part is when we can step into it. And it is basically has the answers to everything that our soul has ever experienced in its many, many lifetimes. If you believe in reincarnation, I believe we have many, many, many experiences. And so when we
Well,
get out
child
of our,
prodigies, I think, support that theory.
yes, definitely, definitely. And I think there's actually a book called Don't Believe Everything You Think. And it's
I know that's right, girl.
yes,
I know
Yeah.
that's right.
and it's about how thinking causes suffering. So we get
Yes.
ourselves stuck in this loop trying to figure out a problem that was probably created by the left brain thinking in the first place. So if we can step out of that, then we have access to so much more information to solve problems, to change our belief systems, to change habits, and basically, you know, to live our life to our full potential. I believe we all came here for a purpose.
You know,
Yes.
that's exactly what I assist with my clients, is to get them. Number one is to if you allow your mind to go unchecked, it is throwing out frequencies, you know, vibrations that, you know, if it's unchecked, it gets wonky, and your mind will lie to you. It is not truth coming out of it.
No.
And
Programming.
the powerhouse in which you are is connecting to that heart space. And because what we have now found is that the heart has over 40,000 neurons. The heart is sending more data to the brain than the brain is to the heart. And we have not been told, taught, or trained to connect to that one piece of technology that will absolutely change your reality. And I
Yeah.
find it fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Mhm.
How susceptible are people to hypnosis?
Yeah.
Well,
Great question, Sharon.
that's a really great question. And I think obviously most people that are coming to me are open-minded to this, or they've tried everything else and nothing's working. So, but I want to say that most people that are coming to me have an open mind if they're going to be trying this alternative type of therapy, right? And I can say that most people, 98% of the time I found, are able to get into an altered state and to have some results. Sometimes it takes a little bit of trust, because people are like, okay, what is this person going to do? And so they still kind of have their thinking mind turned on a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you work with somebody for a little while, you know, it gets easier. Let's just say it gets easier. And here's the analogy that I give. You don't go to a yoga class and think that you can do a handstand on your first try.
Right.
So,
I always give people the example that, have you ever stared into a fire and just allowed yourself to drift and just be mesmerized by the fire? That's a form of hypnosis, right?
yes, yes. We go in and out of altered states all the time, every day.
Yeah.
So you get to work, you drove there and you said, wait a minute, I was totally on autopilot the whole time. You don't even remember driving to work. You were just in an altered state. So these are natural states.
Yes.
Susan, what would you say for anyone that's listening? What does it look like when we are running on unconscious or programming? What does that look like for you? How could you to be unconscious or just merely running on programming?
It's like a broken record that just keeps going over and over again and repeating the same patterns. So if we're unconscious about our behavior, we're going to just keep doing the same thing. And here's the interesting thing is the subconscious mind would rather stick with the status quo
Yes.
and try something new. The unknown is scarier than sticking with something even when it's not benefiting you. So these old programs that were created usually when we were young people, right? And this is not just, our family structures, but this is the educational system. We're taught to behave a certain way and to operate a certain way, and that program gets installed usually by the time we're 6 or 7 years old. Up until that time, we are in a theta state, which is a hypnotic state. So that program gets installed and it just keeps running on and on and on until we decide, wait a minute, this is not working anymore. And we start to become conscious of our behaviors. That's the first step to change, is being conscious of when it's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that brings up a great question. How do we know when we're consciously creating our reality versus unconsciously just repeating a program that was installed years ago? How do we know how do we make that distinction?
That is a great question. I think these are the aha moments. And I think you feel it in the moment. I remember a personal story of mine when I realized that, oh my gosh, I had been working on myself for a while. And then I understood in a moment that I had just changed a behavior, because I became aware of, I always do this thing this way, and I'm going to sit back and I'm not going to operate that way today. And then when I saw what was happening, I realized it in that moment that I had just made a switch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Susan, as a hypnotherapist, you've seen people absolutely transform their beliefs, their emotional habits, and even the physical symptoms. What has that taught you about the power of the subconscious mind? And I'm going to add a second question to that. Once you gain access to the subconscious mind, how can you repattern the subconscious?
Well, I will say that it's repetition. I mean, these old patterns have been installed and have been running over and over again. I mean, maybe for 50 years of our life, right? So if we're going to change a behavior, we need to rewire the brain literally. So this is going to take practice and repetition to rewrite that program.
So get a new neural pathway opened up.
Yes.
Yeah.
By consciously making a new choice.
Yes, exactly. And I think another really easy way to change our reality or start to alter our reality, and then this is going to sound very cliche and very simple, but it works, is a gratitude journal.
Oh,
Raises our
100%.
vibration. And when
Yes.
we raise our vibration and we're more in the present moment and paying attention to what's happening, then we can make the change in the moment. But most people are running on empty, and they are just focused on the thing they need to do to get through the day, right? And they're running around, they're rushing around. They don't have a quiet moment or slow down enough to really see what's happening right in the present moment.
Or even consciously know that they should. Some people it's so natural to them to be focused, to go to work, to get up, to take the kids to baseball, soccer, hockey, whatever, and come home, make dinner, sit in front of the TV, rinse, repeat. And
Yes.
it doesn't even occur to them that
Yep.
there's another way to live.
Yes.
So your point brings up another good question. What percentage of our lives do you think are being driven by subconscious programming as opposed to living in conscious choice?
Ooh. That's a really good question. I have no idea of the percentage, but I'm going to say probably most people are running on 90% subconscious programming.
Wow. Without any idea that they can change their
And
lives.
it's constantly reinforced by everything around us. That's the other layer to this. It's not just the programming, the operating system that got installed when we were a young person. It's reinforced by everything in our media and everything in our social structure, right? Let's say 90%.
That's interesting, because that's one thing that I guide, my clients through is, how, because they ask me, Bethany, how do I gain awareness? And I can't help but to lead them back to that one piece of technology that they're walking around with, and that's the heart. When you gain access to the heart without the mind, it brings you to the present moment. And when you have the present moment, you have an opportunity to either react or respond.
Yes.
And what's the difference? And changing that subconscious is, opening up those new neural pathways. And it could be just as easy as, if you brush your teeth with the left hand, start brushing your teeth with the right hand.
Exactly.
If you put your pants on with the left leg, put it on with the right leg. And that brings you to presence because you're having to consciously make a different choice.
Yes.
Take a different route to work in the
Yeah.
morning.
Yes.
Or if you're going to the store and you always go a certain way, or even if you're going for a walk at, whatever, morning, noon, night, then, change your route. Go for a
Yes.
walk in a different area, go drive to a different area or a different park or whatever and see something new. Because then that makes your neurons rewire and fire on a different way.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
How big do you think energy, frequency, and vibration play a role in a person's life?
Well, I think it plays a huge role. I think this is all energy.
Oh,
So, and it's all vibration. And raise your vibration, change your reality.
yes.
Seriously.
How can you guide our audience to raise their vibration? One little simple step that they could do today.
Well, that again would be a gratitude journal. That would be number one. Gratitude journal, raising our vibration, sitting in a conscious moment of silence.
Ooh,
Present in the present moment and just being aware of sit in nature for a few minutes and just observe what's going on around you.
Yes.
Just stop.
Just be present
Pause.
and enjoy the
Yeah.
eternal present moment.
Yeah.
Would you say then, Susan, after all these years of working with the subconscious mind and the consciousness, would you say that some of our greatest struggles in life aren't obstacles, but they're showing us that a program that it's time to change?
Yes, absolutely. And I think, yes, what do we have this say, our wound is also our gift.
Yes.
Yes, when that's another big thing. When we change our perception of something, instead of this is happening to me, maybe this is happening for me, and I can learn something from this struggle, and I can look at it as a gift to offer me as a person. Well, basically, I've just learned something really important through this struggle, right? And it made a change. It made an important change.
girl, that is so, because I think I can speak for Sharon and I both. What our reality has shown us, like through the death of my only child and through the transformation that Sharon has went through in her own life, though when going through it, it was the war. It's like, I cannot believe this is happening to me. But once you come out the other side, I am beyond grateful for everything that I have
Yes.
experienced, because it brought me back to myself, back to this moment right here and right now. And like you said, that I like to be grateful, because that's a state of being. So being in that state of being of just absolute gratefulness for everything that we've experienced, without trying to make it right, wrong, real, relevant. It's just what it is, because it's allowed me to connect with that part of myself that I had been disconnected from for so long.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like it really boils down to a simple thing, that the worst thing that we think has happened in life that we're trying to outrun and we don't want any part of becomes our greatest teacher, our
Yeah.
greatest inspiration, and the greatest gift we could have ever received.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's listening today, if it's a reoccurring theme or pattern that keeps coming up and keeps tapping you on your shoulder, your higher self is giving you a message. You're ready to process this. You're ready to learn something from this to make a change. So especially if it's something that keeps coming back around, pay attention.
With everything that's going on in the world today, what do you think, if you could look at the subconscious programming of humanity as a whole, what do you think is the biggest belief we're collectively carrying that no longer serves us?
Ooh.
Woo! Sharon's got the questions today, girl.
I don't know. I'm in flow.
Yeah. I think we don't have choices.
Woo!
Oh, okay.
That is so true.
We think that we need to follow along with a pattern that's been set up or a system that's been set up. We all want a sense of belonging. We all want to belong. We all want community. But sometimes that means you have to fit into a box and behave a certain way and do things a certain way. And that might not be who you are on a soul level. And so realizing that we have choices and that we, we can step into our power, right? And we can be who we came down here to be. Step away from the construct for a minute.
And like you say, live in our right brain instead of our left, like we were taught and told to do from a young age.
Yeah.
Get rid of your creative side and follow,
the
linear
analytical
side.
Yeah. Yeah, we
love it.
Probably some of us as children were told, oh, you have such a rich imagination. Well, that sounds derogatory, but nothing in this world was created without somebody imagining it first.
Yep, it was thought first.
There's nothing new under the sun, is there? Well, I love it, Susan. You have just pretty much put it that, maybe we've been giving our power away, giving our power to connect with ourselves, looking outside of ourselves to find the answer, the acceptance, and really it's all about connecting from within and following that heart and shutting maybe that analytical thinking mind off. And what I have found for myself is that healing is so stupid simple.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
You're right.
Really,
but it's hard when you're in the thick of it.
Yes.
But it is. And but it takes awareness, it takes consciousness, it takes a steady choice, the awareness that I have choice in what I think, feel, and believe, and stop giving your power away to outside
exactly.
Forces.
It's an inside job is what I say.
Yes, it is. Yes. I have a friend who has that on her wall. Happiness is an inside job.
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. Well, we got to the section now. Our Sharon and I's favorite section, isn't it, girl? It is called Shit or Shift. And so we're going to ask you a series of questions, and you tell us if it's a shift. If it's expansive, yes. And if it's a shit, it's a program, get it out of here. No way, not having it, no how. All right, first question. If changing your beliefs changes your choices, and your choices change your life, did consciousness change reality? Shit or shift?
Shift.
Give me just a small.
You'd have to repeat that again.
Yeah, we'll just go with shift because it is. Gaining awareness. Yes. Go ahead, Sharon.
The greatest limitation in a person's life isn't usually is invisible to them. Shit or shift? Your greatest limitation, is it invisible to you? Shit or shift?
Oh my gosh. Shift.
Why?
I'm having a hard time following.
Okay. We'll move on.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're doing great, girl. You're doing great.
Yeah.
There's the great thing about this is that there's no right or wrong answer.
Yes.
It's
true.
just it's just awareness and possibility. So when people say, I'll believe it when I see it, should they actually be saying, I'll see it when I believe it? So are they, I love this because, so many people will be like, well, I have to believe it. I have to see it to believe it.
Yeah,
When really, once you believe it, baby, you'll see it.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Yes.
Yeah.
I know it. Maybe I don't see it, but I can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, girl. Exactly.
And when you believe it, you'll eventually see it.
Yes.
And I think that's another thing that people get lost in or lose faith in, is because they're like, okay, I believe this today. I believe it. I believe it. But until it becomes a real internal part of your being and your belief system, things don't change. So when they surface level say, oh, I believe pigs can fly, then they're not going to see flying pigs because they don't really, really believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they might see it, but it might be in a storybook. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. Oh, yeah.
you
Or
might
watching the
really
Disney Channel.
see a pig flying, but it
Yeah.
be on a book cover or something, But
Yeah.
so it's interesting how the reality, throws out stuff to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Susan, people don't fear change. They fear losing the identity they built around themselves. Shit or shift?
Mm.
That's a shift
Mhm.
because oh, wow, your questions are killing me. To follow up with the
Well,
answer. I had an answer. I keep having an answer, and
it was right there.
It's all good, Susan. It's all good.
If your perception changes, but the circumstances don't, and your entire experience improves, did consciousness change it? So if your perception changes, but your circumstance doesn't, did consciousness change the reality?
yes, shift.
Shift. Got it.
Yes,
That was my last question.
yes,
My last question. Manifestation isn't about attracting what you want. It's about becoming aware of what's blocking it. Shit or shift?
shift.
Yes.
Because if you're not aware of what's blocking it, how are you going to make a change?
Woo.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you have to be conscious of what's stopping you, right?
Right.
To be able
Right.
to change the program. Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, this isn't a shit or shift question. This is a final question from me.
Mhm.
Susan, if every listener could leave this conversation understanding just one truth, one about consciousness, what would you have that truth to be?
Mhm. Your consciousness and your perception can create your reality.
Mm. You know what?
Mic drop.
I love that, Susan, because I think what this entire WTF is consciousness series we are, is talking about. That's what it's all about. Not telling
That
people what to
sentence right
believe,
there. Yeah,
not convincing anyone of anything. It's about becoming curious enough to
Yeah.
question what you've assumed was true. Because whether consciousness changes reality or not, one thing's certain: the moment you become aware of something, you cannot become unaware.
exactly.
Absolutely.
So, Susan, how can people, our audience, connect with you
Yeah.
and
So
work with you?
yes, my website is Discover Your TRU without the E self .com.
Mhm.
And so that's where people can find me and they can work with me. I also do a monthly past life regression group. The information is also on my website. That is online, so anyone can join from anywhere. So yeah, that's also a really good way to kind of dip your toe in if you're interested in reincarnation and past life regression.
Love it. Love
Love
it.
it. Love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Susan, for coming on and sharing your heart, your awarenesses with our audience. I know
Mhm.
for me, it shifted some new perspectives for me. And Sharon, do you have any final words?
Well, I think as Bethany said, that what we discussed here today is really the epitome of what this whole consciousness series, the What the F is Consciousness series, I think that's exactly what it was about. We encapsulated it. Thank you so much for doing that for
Mm.
us today, Susan.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Appreciate that.
having me, ladies. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
It's been
you.
a pleasure.
You.
Love it.
Wow. That was really good. That was a great
Well,
show.
girl, that was amazing. What a divinely guided being, she
Yes,
is, and just a plethora. And you can really feel the energy coming off of her. I could feel it within my field. So I'm so grateful for that. So Sharon, sweetheart, who do we have on the show next week, girl?
we have our friend Olga is coming back. Olga, whose last name we can't pronounce. She's coming back. And
That
she's going
girl.
to, yeah, that one, that beautiful soul called Olga. One of my favorites. I love Olga. But she's
Yes.
here to discuss emotions and consciousness and how consciousness affects emotions, or do emotions affect consciousness? How does that work?
Wow.
What's happening? So, yeah, she's going to take us a deep dive into that, which will be really interesting.
Yes, I am really looking forward for that conversation. Well, Sharon, just like always, it's been an amazing
One,
Thursday morning to
it
spend with you.
has been. It's been wonderful. And I want to thank everybody who's watching and commenting. And as always, Danny, it is wonderful to have you in the house and hear all of your amazing thoughts as the show goes on.
Well, Sharon, once again, girl, remember, when life kicks you in the balls, be sure to tune in to your Holy Shiftball podcast.
Where we help you turn that shit into a shift.
See you next
See you
Thursday.
next week.